welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to What She Said Sports, everybody. See me, hear me. I can see and hear myself. All right, all right, all right. So we're good, we're good, we're good. All right. I hope y'all had a wonderful New Year's between Christmas week and New Year's. I hope y'all had a good New Year. I did. I didn't do too much. I went skating for just a little bit. I was back home by like 11:45. Was catching the fireworks. Lots of fireworks in Atlanta. Lots of fireworks. And some things were not fireworks. I was recording, and you could hear pop pop. I was like, "That's not fireworks." I was like, "That's not fireworks." That was hilarious. And then I was like, "I'm going inside." So I went inside, and then it was more fireworks. Then it was more pop 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 pop. I'm like, "That's not fireworks." So some people like to fire other things other than fireworks. So that's when I get going. So it was good. I watched Don Lemon's Lemon Drop. That was good. I watched that. That was good. I was anticipating that all week. And I watched a few DJ sets. Some were recorded for Christmas, but they were still good. I don't know if y'all know who DJ Bird is. And DJ Blake at the end, END. He did a museum set in Houston, a DJ set at a museum in Houston. It was great. It was great. So those two and Don Lemon, I think they took up a lot of my time. I watched a little bit of Josh Johnson because he did like 24 hours of comedy. So, and Bucky dropped the video from the Sanders New Year's Eve party. And I watched Shiloh's compilation. Shiloh and his hilarious. I have a little bit of it, not a whole lot. So my question to y'all is, if y'all had a chance to watch any of Shiloh's videos, which one was your favorite? Which, Shiloh's doing well on the content lane, content creator lane. Which video of Shiloh's is your favorite? Drop it in the comments. All right, so we're gonna get into quite a few things happening. The UFL moving and shaking. They hired Kevin Sumlin. If you know who Kevin Sumlin is, I know him when he was the head coach at Texas A&M because I know his story and it's ugly. They did him like they try to do Coach Prime, like they did Herm Edwards, try to run him off basically, and hired another coach after him. I think paid him $75 million, and it was a disaster. They just weren't ready to have a black head coach at Texas A&M at the time, and the things that they threatened he and his family with were totally disgusting. But it was all racially biased racism. That was it. It was just pure hatred, right? Speaking of hatred, Lamar Jackson said he was kind of hurt by the things that they were saying about him. That he quits on his team, he falls asleep in meetings, and all of these derogatory things, kind of like what they were saying about Shedeur. He was sitting in the back of the class, in the back of the meeting room, and they talking about Lamar playing video games till late at night. How does anybody know what time Lamar Jackson plays video games? Is he online or something? Like in one of these multi-streams or something like that? Let that man live. And I posted and said, Lamar Jackson and Shedeur Sanders get so much hate, and let's just be honest. It's just skin color. It's not nothing else, right? Because there are other quarterbacks in the league that they don't get hated on, but yes, they get held back. But these two, they're trying to destroy Lamar, trying to destroy Shedeur as human beings. Understand that they do not want them to believe in their capabilities or to be able to exercise their capabilities at a high level. Something both of them are capable of. And the one thing that stands out to me the most about Lamar and Shedeur, both have the ability to elevate the game with two different skill sets of quarterback, pocket passers and dual threats, right? So it's a tough road for both of them, right? And I've often said, if you look at Shedeur's road, it could end up being like Lamar's, like they're never going to let you win anything, right? Lamar won 2 MVPs, but him getting to the Super Bowl, it just don't seem like they're going to allow him with a fair opportunity. So he's supposed to be back, I think, playing in the game against the Steelers. I think I want to try to watch that game, but I don't know if I have access to it. I do, however, have access to the final game for, was it week 18 for the season, the Browns versus the Bengals, Shedeur Sanders' last rookie game. because he a vet now, right? I already said he was vet a couple of weeks ago, just because the way he's handled everything and came out here and won a few games. Let me know, we go as we get closer to Sunday. I'll schedule the watch party. We'll be live at 12:50 p.m. Give me 10 minutes to be set up and get the conversation going. The game kickoff is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm happy to host again. This is the final rookie game for Shedeur. Bengals versus Browns. It'll be Sunday. So when you see the notification, I'll let you know when I schedule it, probably tomorrow. I'll let you know when I schedule it, and the notifications, just click on notify me and you'll instantly be notified when the game starts. All right. I see some people piling into the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Shout out to Colton Hood. Somebody did a mock draft. The mock drafts are starting to come out. Colton Hood was listed in the first round at number 32, cornerback out of Tennessee. So shout out to Colton Hood for that. I'm sure it was a decision he had to make whether to move on from CU, because he was balling, right? He was getting an opportunity to ball. And he went to Tennessee and made a name for himself. And he's popping up in the first round. So, shout out to Colton Hood. And I think he has a brother too. I don't know where his brother is, but I wanted to say congratulations to Colton Hood. Now, there's two buffs moving on. One I'm not surprised by. I thought he was going to the league. The other I was surprised by. But then again, they play on defense. And I have said before, that is a severe indictment of the defensive coordinator. London Merritt, who just got to CU. Remember, I told y'all London Merritt and some of the other young guys have been repped up for a minute now. And I said, it's kind of weird for them to be repped up so soon. Now you see the benefits of being repped up so soon when the ship start to get rocky, right? You have somebody that can help you to assess if this is a good time to jump ship. And considering he played on defense and DJ McKinney is entering the transfer portal. So a lot of defensive players, lot of defensive players moving on. Again, that's an indictment on the defense coordinator. He should just resign. He's probably not going to do it, but he should. I just wish all of them well. I say go be great. That's it, right? I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see you this year. I know they got the offensive part, they're getting that together. But now it's going to be the defensive side. And see, I said this. I said, is Livingston still over there? Because if so, this could be a disaster. Just like the offense was being held back. I don't even know who they're going to get on defense. And it could be the same thing, running it back and holding down the team. But on defense, remember those 2 games with 52 points or more? And Coach Prime chasing him up the side. I'm telling y'all, just be cautiously optimistic and pray for a miracle. That's all I can say. Speaking of Coach Prime, shout out to Nikki SoFit. She sent me an article because I was talking about Coach Prime and whether or not trying to ascertain if he was an investor in Black and Bold Coffee. And she found the article. It said he is. I didn't know if he was an investor or if he was an ambassador. He's an investor. So I found the article that he came on in 2024, or they announced it in 2024, that he's a co-owner. So shout out to Coach Prime for that. Y'all coffee lovers, go grab y'all some Black and Bold. They do have Keurigs now. They have the K-Pods. They have the cold brew for those of you that like cold brew coffee. And they even have light roast. So I think I'm going to get the light roast. And I was going through my phone trying to delete some of these photos that duplicates are no longer needed going into 2026, and found where I must have been at the store buying Black and Bold when it was the ground, it's not when they first started. This was either last year before last. They came out in 2018. So somewhere between 2024, 2023, it's in my phone. I was in the store picking up what they had at the time, which was the grounds. And I have a Keurig now, so I wanted to get the Keurig. So coffee lovers, go run it up. Go run it up. Coach Prime is a co-owner. Black and Bold Coffee, Black owned, distributed over in 11,000 retailers. And they distributed in what I call the corporate space. When you hear like Sedesco, or you hear when you go to these big arenas and when you go to corporate events, that side, whatever side that's called, they on that side too. So I think that's pretty good for them. And shout out to Coach Prime, because that was a good investment, because they just gonna keep blowing. They only been out since 2018. I think they grow everything in Iowa. and it's one of the most popular companies. That's where their facilities are. Go check it out. Black and Bold coffee for the coffee lovers. Go check it out. I'm definitely going to get the light roast. So I'll be doing that. Speaking of investors, let me run it back to the UFL. All right, so apparently the UFL 50% ownership of the UFL is Fox Sports, and I was like, okay, I don't know. What do y'all think about ownership of a sports league being by um a network? Remember how we talked about ESPN? The NFL has 10% stake in ESPN. What do y'all think about? What do y'all think about that? Let me know. I'm curious. Oh, okay. I'm curious. I'm curious to know what y'all think about that. They own 50% stake, and then some of the other ownership, of course, is The Rock, Danny Garcia, who I feel like is his ex-wife, unless Danny Garcia is a man. I don't know. Depends on how it's spelled. Because there's a Danny Garcia on the entertainment side, but then I feel like there's a Danny Garcia, whoever The Rock used to be married to, it could be Danny Garcia. Whatever it is, they still have some stake in it. But then also, too, they have like a capital group. So they have a lot of investors, and somebody else just became an investor. Somebody that's pretty big when it comes to vitamin water. You know that makes sense, right? Because they're gonna sell vitamin water at the stadium. And I could see Fox, wanting to have ownership because they get to broadcast the games and they get to make money off the broadcasting of the games on their own network. And then they get to sell it to other networks. Again, I don't know how I feel about that. And then they hired Kevin Sumlin. So it seemed like they trying to stay afloat because they shut up one of their teams. There's only 8 teams now. I don't know how many they had before. They still have a 10-week schedule. Unless that was maybe that was a different league. But they have 8 teams. And Kevin Sumlin is now head coach. And I heard at one time the NFL was trying to use the UFL as a G League. So be on the lookout for that. That's why I'm telling you this. Because you see everything that's going on in the NFL, right? You see how they treat certain people. We get ready to talk about Jimmy Horn Jr. in a minute. But the reason I brought up the UFL and wanted to run back to investing, talking about Coach Prime, I think he should. I think he should. I mean, he's friends with The Rock. I'm surprised he hasn't, unless his contract said he can't. But I mean, he did good with Black and Bold, and they pretty strong. So I think he should invest in the UFL. Somebody has to, right? Somebody else like that played football, because all of the people I'm hearing about, they ain't playing the NFL. So I think Coach Prime will be the perfect person to become like a partner. I think he would be a partner in the UFL. I would like to see that. Somebody need to do something. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a gap between the NFL and then you have these 18 and under teams. And of course, there's college, but there needs to be something else for people over 18 besides college, something else for people over the age of 23 besides what's currently available. I'll say it like that. So when I was looking at, Coach Prime, and I was reading about Black and Bold and all of their achievements, I was like, Coach Prime should invest in the UFL. I think he should. It says the partnership includes 50% ownerships, Fox Sports. Then there's Redbird Capital Partners. And then Danny Garcia, that is The Rock's wife. That is his wife, Dany. I think that's his ex-wife. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. ESPN even got a stake in it. And new investors, Mike Rapole. It says Mike Rapole is an entrepreneur with vitamin water and body armor. Remember when 50 Cent used to own, didn't he invent like vitamin water or something like that? So somebody bought it from him. And this guy is somehow involved in vitamin water and body armor, and said he recently joined as a co-owner and head of business operations. So see, they get ready to shake something. They get ready to shake something. I would hate for another league to use them like a G League. I would like this to be direct competition. But what do you think about the NFL having 10% ownership in ESPN and ESPN having ownership in the UFL, Fox Sports having on 50% stake in the UFL? I can see a little conflict of interest. I can see the whole buddy thing and them using the UFL to send people that they retaliate against with. Basically, taking the UFL and turn it into Cleveland. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. I could see them taking that league and turning it into Cleveland. But guess what? I bet it'll do well. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. So the UFL, stay tuned. If y'all hear anything about it, let me know about it. But stay tuned. All right. So we just got a nice message from, it said Melly the Sensor. It said, my mom Linda watches you every day from Mississippi. Yay! It says she found your page well over a year ago. Buffs and Browns all day. Best of luck to your channel. Thank you so much. That is so nice. Thank you for the kind words and thank you for the super chat. But most of all, thank you for the encouragement. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. So let's take a look at Shiloh's compilation. If you're just not joining us, the question I asked was, Shiloh's doing well on the content creation. What was your favorite video of his? And we're going to look at this compilation a little bit. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because Bucky on here cussing or asking some crazy question. So I got parts of it that I wanted to share. So let me know, what was Shiloh's favorite video that he dropped this year? Or if you felt like he dropped another video from a previous year, that's fine. But I know mine. I know mine. It's not in this compilation. It's in the one on his page, but not the one that I snagged. So let's take a listen.
Or white folks? Dark meat. Oh no! Oh no! Nah, bro, you've been picking up like
Shiloh, that was hilarious. So Shiloh was at an alligator farm. Okay. Shiloh was at an alligator farm and he said he was scared of the alligators, and he said the alligators was gonna eat him. So he asked the tour guide, do they like dark meat or white meat, black people or white people? And the guy said dark meat. He started screaming. I'm gonna run that back because that's funny. You would think this is my favorite video, but it's not. I would say this is second. I would say this is my second favorite video.
Dark meat. Oh no! Nah, bro, you've been picking up like crazy, just learning everything. But soon, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. At this pace, you gonna.
I don't know why Shiloh would tell him. I think that guy won an award at the Streamer Awards. I think that was him. I could be wrong though. It could be somebody else.
Well, ask this guy right here. He's the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. You telling me? That was only 1 week.
How do you think you're gonna be?
Legendary. Oh, he is legendary with his wrist in the air.
Okay, Shiloh's silly. He is legendary. Throw his wrist in the air. This is my third favorite video. So the alligator is second. Thanksgiving is third. So y'all be tracking. So I want to know your favorite video by Shiloh. I already know mine. Okay, that's draft day. Now I've been overlooking draft content.
Look at him studying his plays and whatnot before his big game. What a good boy, studying your plays so Coach Fancy don't get mad.
Love that part. I bet that's the most watched part of the video. So Coach Stefanski don't get mad. That is so funny to me. It just tickles me every time.
I even study my plays on Thanksgiving.
Shiloh, Shedeur just put his head down. Okay, I'm skipping past this because Bucky, Bucky's something else. That's all I'm gonna say. He was on his dad's show that they had with the co-host Roxy and was asking questions. And if you saw it, you know exactly what he asked. So I'm gonna just keep it pushing.
This is where Shedeur thought he was gonna go first round, and they just kept passing.
Why would he point that out? Why would Shiloh point that out? Like, this is where, and he pointing at the damn basketball court where they had the big tent. So this is where Shedeur thought he was gonna get drafted first round, and they kept passing him. I'm like, oh Lord. Shiloh has no filter. I thought Bucky had no filter. Shiloh has no filter.
I'm Shiloh Sanders' son. Can I get a discount?
All right, so that was it. All right, so I'm gonna check the comments to see what video of Shiloh's did y'all say was the favorite. All right, so I'm not gonna tell y'all my number one. My number three is Thanksgiving. My number two is the alligator farm. And my number one video is when Shilo ran into that Tampa Bay fan and he was at the subway. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite video. And they were in the store first. And they were gassing up Shiloh up, celebrating Shiloh. And then that's when he ran into Buckify. And that's when they went into the parking lot. And he's like, we stole Shiloh. That is my number one video by Shiloh this year. I was like, Shiloh, you were hilarious. You have got to keep making content. So shout out to Shiloh Sanders, who jumped into the content creator lane and is doing wonderfully. Talk about, I think his video when they went over for Christmas to his dad's, it surpassed 500,000 already. So hopefully he gets to 500,000 subs real soon. But that's mine. So drop in the comments, what was your favorite video of Shiloh Sanders? Let me know. All right, so let's hop on over to Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns. Okay. First and foremost, Texas beat Michigan. And what did I say? That Sharon Moore was conveniently fired after recruiting closed, the little commitment day or whatever, after them kids decided they want to go to Michigan, and before what game? And what did I say? The Cheez-It Bowl. I think that's what it was called. I don't know if that was the Cheez-It Bowl, but anyway, it was Texas versus Michigan. And I told y'all, pay attention to how that game goes. It was like 41-47 to like 21 or something like that. Yeah, just like I thought. See, they already knew what Sharon Moore had going on. Do not forget, the woman he was cheating with is the daughter of an NFL scout for the Chicago Bears. In other words, people know who she is. And they knew about the relationship, but they strategically timed when they wanted to fire him. So they fired him after the kids decided they was going to go to Michigan and before, so he would not be available. So the team could be in disarray like it is by the time they go play Arch Manning. I'm just saying. I told y'all that's what was going to happen. Them kids probably going to go somewhere else to another school now. What happened to Ole Miss? Last I checked, they was losing to Georgia 21-12 into the half. I don't know what happened after the half. I had to get ready for my show. Lane Kiffin leaving, right? The other guy taking over, right? I told y'all these schools that these coaches are leaving. Why you had to leave then? Why you couldn't leave after? You see what I'm saying? Why you couldn't leave after the season? Disruption is a strategy to take down your opponent. That's what it is. They disrupted Michigan at a convenient time, waited till those kids say, yeah, we want to come here. And made sure they got Sharon Moore out the way and left the team in disarray for weeks before they go play Texas. Come on now. So it's an ugly game, right? It's just an ugly game. They talk about the NIL and the transfer portal. That ain't the problem. These coaches jumping ship with these players still having to play these games, and these players are trying to get to the next level despite what it is. I'm just saying, disruption is intentional. It's intentional. It's a weapon. And they weaponizing all of this change right before these kids play these games, but they mad when these kids choose opt out of these games. Did y'all know Kyron Lacey didn't play in the Texas Bowl, which is Baylor versus LSU? He graduated and that was it for him. He didn't play. And I think some people may have had some kind of feeling about that, right? So unfortunately, he passed away a couple months later, but people get upset when the kids don't play. I remember Will Anderson before the draft. He didn't play in whatever bowl game they went to. I think he was at Michigan. I remember Coach Prime say all of our guys are playing, and all of they guys played. I ain't sure they should have, but they did. It's not just the transfer portal. When y'all hear them talking about the transfer portal, you need to start asking about these coaches jumping ship while the season. That shouldn't even be allowed. If you want to take the job, fine, but you can't leave till you finish this job. Because if the players can't leave when a portal open, why should you be able to leave before the damn portal open? Y'all stay until them kids commit, and then you leave. That's wrong. That's called bait and switch. That's illegal. So stay tuned for what's going on with the kid from Texas, Arch Manning. You know, supposedly he's not coming out this year, and he might not be. I'm not even sure he has a passion for the game like that. We're gonna see. We'll see what happens. All right, so moving on to Cleveland. I mean, that kind of is talking about Cleveland. They did a mock draft, and they're sending an offensive tackle to Cleveland in the first round with like the 5th or the 6th pick. I'm like, and then I saw another offensive tackle in the top 10 going to a different school. I'm like, so I didn't know that they prioritized offensive tackles in the first round, especially top 5. That's new to me. Is that new to y'all? Let me know, because I'm not used to that, right? And I asked the question, right? People who think that the Browns are getting a wide receiver in the first round. This is the question I asked. Would the Browns really get a wide receiver in the first round if they already are into Jerry Jeudy for $41 million guaranteed? And the reason I say no, Jerry Jeudy and Deshaun are both used to block, right? Well, I want to add you to our team, but we already got a wide receiver one. This is Isaiah Bond's story out of Texas. Now, I told y'all, pay attention. Isaiah Bond was signed a 3-year deal, and he went to Texas. So he's going to be over there for probably 3 years unless they surprise us all and trade him. So that means they got Jerry Jeudy, and they probably going to keep Jeudy until the Manning kid come. Then they're going to elevate Isaiah Bond to wide receiver one. How much you want to bet they let some people go and get some more people? So they're a bridge. So here's what they're doing. They know they're going to get the Manning kid next year. So all they doing is getting ready, because that's what Isaiah Bond is. He went to Texas. He played with Arch Manning. They got him this year thinking the Manning kid was coming out in 26, but they got to wait for one more year. So they're going to keep Jerry at the wide receiver one because they can get him to do whatever they want him to do. And they're going to keep Isaiah Bond. And when the Manning kid come out, 27, they're going to move off of Jerry Jeudy, because I think his contract ends at 27 or 28. Bookmark that. So Shedeur was interviewed and was asked a couple of questions about, did he think that he had done enough to be the guy? And he said that, the other teams respect his passing ability. I thought that was an excellent answer. We're going to listen to that. Other teams respect his passing ability. Then I have a little clip where Tom Brady was interviewed and asked about the draft, about what happened. He sounded like somebody that was explaining when you get caught with your hand in a cookie jar and you, trying to find a way about it. We're going to take a listen to that, right? And I have Lamar Jackson's interview as well. So the Browns brought in another O-lineman. Remember Kendrick Green? They got him. So let's be clear. Within the last 3 weeks, since this Chicago game, they had the Garrett kid. They brought him in, and he blocked for Shedeur, and they put him on waivers, and he is in Tennessee, I think, right? Then they got Kendrick Green. Now, I don't know if he even had really a chance to play. I checked the depth chart again. He's now back in 2 places. Because why? They went out and got another center. So Kendrick Green is center 2, and the new guy is center 3. His name is Kingsley Egwakun. So what this shows you is that I clearly can get more people. But why is it that you don't get people that you need? You know what I mean? So thank you for the super chat. Who was that? Oh, yeah. Melly, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So let's take a look at this here. We looked at this the other day. Now, Isaiah Bond on this one is still at the wide receiver 3, but then the one we saw, which was supposed to be official, he was in Gage's place. Gage moved around, etc. Yada, yada, yada. We're not even worried about that. The biggest concern is these linemen. So I got 3 linemen in the last, whatever, since the Chicago game. Must have 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. So Kendrick Green is a center, and then they have him over here behind two people who are questionable, Joel Batonio and Tevin Jenkins. So keep your eyes open to see if we see Kendrick Green. I don't know. Again, this guy is new too. Kingsley Egwakon, he's new too. But look at where he is. And I guess he questionable because he just came in. Maybe he got a pass physical. I don't know. But if you can keep getting these people, why can't you replace Cam Robinson and KT Levinson? KT Levinson plays over here. You already have Cornelius Lucas, who should be playing in front of KT Levinson. And they said on the Brown site that Kingsley is I'm gonna let you know this is how they said it. They was talking about Kingsley and where he came from and what he gonna be doing. The next paragraph said Wyatt Teller re-aggravated a calf injury in the Pittsburgh Steelers game. I was like, what? I didn't even see Wyatt Teller, but maybe he played and I don't know. So they're essentially saying, without saying, that this guy who's the center is coming in and Wyatt Teller is not going to be playing because he re-aggravated his injury. But it wasn't on the injury report. It was on the transactions. I was like, why did you word this like this? It's almost like they said, we got Kingsley because, not Kingsley, we got Egwakon. We got him because Wyatt Teller hurt himself, but they don't play the same position. Read this. Look at how this is written. It said the Cleveland Browns. All right, it's kind of small, so I'm gonna make myself small so y'all could read it. Okay, I'm not on the screen, just the verbiage is on the screen. Let me read it. It says, hold on one second. It said the Cleveland Browns have signed center Kingsley Egwakon. It said pronounced Egwakon. Okay, good. Egwakon. Okay, good. Egwakon. It said to the active roster of the Lions practice squad and place guard Wyatt Teller on injured reserve. They don't play the same position. I don't get that. I don't get how you take a center. Am I missing something? I'm like, it seemed like they trying to move somebody around, but you would think same position for same position. So basically, they put Wyatt Teller on injured reserve, but I thought he was already on injured reserve. So I'm a little lost here. And he came from the Lions practice squad. He wasn't even on the Browns practice squad. And they got people on the Browns practice squad that they could have elevated, but they went and got this guy, just like they went and got Kingsley. So I don't know. So we're going to have to keep our eyes peeled to see what the hell is going on. But they have this guy, Egwakon. They have him as a center. Sounds like they're saying that Tevin Jenkins, who is questionable, has also been elevated, and Wyatt Teller is out the picture. So Wyatt Teller is just out the picture. There's no questionable. He just not coming back. He on injured reserve. So if Tevin Jenkins is questionable, he might play. He might not play. None of these guys are good, right? I mean, they probably could be, but they choose not to. So we have Tevin Jenkins, KT Levinson, and Cam Robinson, and probably Joel Batonio. Because as you can see, Joel Batonio and Tevin Jenkins are both questionable. So that leaves the new guy, Kendrick Green. So pay attention. Just pay attention to the game, to the O-line, because I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know why you keep bringing in centers, but you don't get anybody, or I'm sorry, you don't make adjustments right here. Cornelius Lucas should have been elevated in front of KT Levinson, but they won't do that. Cam Robinson, the most they will do is put, I think the running back or the tight end is blocking for Shedeur on the right. So I pointed out that the running back was blocking better than KT Levinson. So they have somebody coming in the first round. They have somebody, I guess you could just say a mock draft, getting an offensive tackle from Utah in the first round to Cleveland. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Because it's just a little weird. I just think the whole situation is weird on how it is you can keep getting centers, but you don't get right tackles and left tackles or make adjustments at right tackle and left tackle. But you will put a outside blocker to back up KT Leviston, who you know is not going to block. But you won't. You will not make adjustments at right tackle to Cornelius Lucas, who is healthy. Explain that. That makes no sense. That just makes no sense unless in this game, instead of the running back blocking for Shedeur, I'm going to put 86 or somebody else on this side to block for Shedeur. And KT Leviston and whoever is not the running back is not going to block for Shedeur, and he's going to get hit. But that's the right side. The left side, I think I did see a tight end on the left side, maybe one or two plays. But Cam Robinson is allowed to miss tackles. They didn't bring in any more right tackles, but they keep bringing in centers. And they don't shore up the left side like they shore up the right side. Pay attention to the O-line in this game. This is supposed to be Shedeur's last game as a rookie. And they already stepped on his hand. Pay attention. And you see they have the ability to bring in more people. It's just the center. And they're not making adjustments with the people they have that are healthy. Pay attention. Pay attention. I just hope all goes well for this game. All right. So I'm going into news that I have. Shout out to y'all. There are 168 of us. All right, here we go. All right, I have a lot of things marked on this one, so I'm gonna try to get through everything. All right, this is Shedeur at practice. I think this might have been before New Year's Day. So Shedeur, this will be his 7th game. His 7th game. I think, how many games did Dylan start? I have no idea. Because I know Flacco started a few. There's only 18 games in the season. So that's good that Shedeur got 7 games. Remember, they said they thought he was going to have 4, but he ended up with 7. Anybody have any early predictions on this game? Like if you think Shedeur will win or lose? Any thoughts on that? Do you have any predictions? Does anybody already kind of think they know, oh yeah, the Browns going to take this one? The Bengals going to take this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm headed over to the comments next. 172 of us. Hit the like button and please subscribe. Don't forget, I'm trying to get to 10,000. I appreciate y'all for getting me to my goal early. But it's a new year. I can't believe it's 2026. It just seems surreal, right? So I'm back on it. I'm back on my campaign to get to 2,000. Get to 10,000. So if you're watching, please subscribe to the channel. All right. Let's get back here. Okay. So I don't have any early projections just yet. It seems like Joe Burrow will be playing. I have to think about it. But if y'all have thoughts on who's going to win, who's going to lose, let me know. I hope Coach Prime is at this last game. He and Carucci were at the other 2. So hopefully they come out to this game as well. I think this game is in Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati? Because I think the last week was the last home game. All right. So moving right along. Let's see who in this little video here. I don't really recognize any of these people. I don't know. Who are these people Shedeur is practicing with? Is this the scout team? 81, 19. Why is Shedeur practicing with these people? Do y'all see these people? Okay, I see 86 right there. I don't know who these people are. 23. Who's 23? I don't know. It don't look like the whole team, so I don't know what the hell is happening here. I think I see Dylan over there. See Dylan, y'all, right there with the little orange. He's so short with the orange jersey kind of half tucked or whatever. Yeah, he over there. So they just stretching. Okay, 19. That's Cedric Tillman. Okay. So I recognize some people. Okay, so Shedeur's out there with the team, just getting ready. Again, we'll be live for that game. I want to, make sure that game goes okay. All right, so that's that on that one. And moving right along. Let's see here. Which one is this? Okay, I wanted to share this. Now, remember, they already asked Shedeur, did he do enough to prove he's the guy this season, whatever, right? We're gonna get to his answer, but I wanted to share this. This is Joe Burrow and his thoughts on Shedeur. It said Joe Burrow on Shiloh Sanders. Again, I don't know. Do they normally ask quarterbacks about other quarterbacks like that? It said he's certainly been under more of a microscope than any other fifth round pick has ever been in the history of football. So let's take a listen in his own words. Um,
I don't know how much college football you watch over, 23, 24. I asked this because, Shedeur Sanders going to be starting for Cleveland on Sunday. Did you get a chance to watch him? And if so, what do you think of his game and also kind of how he's handled the unusual spotlight that's kind of come with him?
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching him in college. I thought he made a lot of plays. I thought he could throw it. And then obviously, given who his dad is, he knows how to handle the media, knows how to handle the spotlight. Certainly been under more of a microscope than any other. What do you get drafted? Fourth round? Fifth round? Certainly under the microscope more than any other fifth round pick that's ever been in the history of football. And every clip that I see, he seems to be handling it well, says most of the right things in the media, is who he is. He's himself. That's what you want out of a football player. So he seems to be handling it the right way.
I don't know how much college football you
so,
watch over,
so what do they really expect these people to say? At this point, the media just seems like a nuisance to me because what did they expect Joe Burrow to say? I mean, honestly, what did you expect him to say? So why ask a question if he has to answer it a certain way? And again, I know that they ask the question about each other. I mean, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe I just never really noticed, people asking. So what you think about Jalen Hurts? I mean, in the football terms, it's a contest. So I would think, you asking the opponent about the other skill set, maybe, right? But the point is, what did Shedeur say? Well, y'all haven't heard it yet, but he said other teams respect my passing game, his passing ability. I thought that was good that he said other teams respect that. I thought that was really good. So that's Joe Burrow. Again, I don't know why they asking Joe Burrow about Shedeur if it's not football related, but that's what they doing. And they keep saying that, it's because of Coach Prime. It's not because of Coach Prime that he getting all this attention. That's not it. They said nothing to do with Coach Prime. Now you can see the draft has nothing to do with Coach Prime. They're not even asking about Coach Prime. They don't even ask Shedeur about Coach Prime. So I don't know why people keep bringing up his dad because they're not asking about his dad. And he not getting attention because of his dad because look at the questions he gets. They asked Shedeur, basically, do you like Stefanski? They asked Denzel Ward about Stefanski. I'm like, what the hell you thought Denzel Ward was going to say? No, I don't like my head coach. He was already benched and retaliated against after he stood up and said, yes, Shedeur was ready to play. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it, right? I just don't. It's just like a waste of time, in my opinion, to ask Joe Burrow. By the way, Shedeur and Joe Burrow are the only active QBs who are legacy players. Their fathers and family played in the NFL. I looked that up in the summer. I was like, what other NFL players are legacy? And I think it said Burrow and Shedeur, only two active quarterbacks who are legacy. Yep. That's what it said. That's what it said. So I don't know who Joe Burrow people are, but if you go look it up, it's out there. So and look at the look on his Joe Burrow face. The look on his face is pure disgust. Like, bruh, I'm just here so I don't get fired. That's what it's giving, right? It looked like he's so annoyed, like y'all working on my damn nerves. That's what it's giving. That's just what it's giving. So all right, let me move on to the next one. Let me know your thoughts about that. Like I said, Joe Burrow looked like he don't want no parts of that. Like he has no choice. This is Shedeur. If he's done enough through 6 starts to show he's a franchise quarterback. All right, let's take a listen.
No, I'm not. I can't think about what other people opinion or what they view me as. I know, the teams that we go against. I know they definitely respect me in the passing game for sure. but I can't be accountable for somebody else's decisions. No, I'm not. I can't think about what other people opinion or what they view me as. I know, the teams that we go against. I know they definitely respect me in the passing game for sure. Um, but
He said, listen to what he said. The teams that we go against, they respect me in the passing game. He's saying he can't be responsible for anybody else's decision. In other words, it don't matter what the hell I think. If somebody else makes the decision that they don't see me as a franchise quarterback, cool. Because the other teams that we play against respect my passing ability. If Shedeur get traded to a team in this conference, it's gonna get wicked around here. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I think they would be crazy to do it. But where is Joe Burrow? Where is Joe Flacco? Right there in Cincinnati. Would they push Shedeur behind Burrow? I would think not. For the same reason they wouldn't put him behind JJ McCarthy. But to hurt Shedeur, yeah, they will put him behind somebody that's not getting ready to move out their spot. Right? Like Mac Jones gonna end up with somebody's job. Shedeur should be a starter. But y'all know what the deal is, right? Y'all know what the racial bias. It's just racial bias. That's just what it is. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat that or skirt around it. It's racial bias, right? That's why Lamar gets so much hatred. Lamar and Shedeur, right? And if you're so threatened by these black quarterbacks, you got to stop drafting them. That's just what I say, right? And eventually they're gonna start their own league, and that's really what should happen, right? So I don't know why they be asking these questions, but Shedeur has shown that he can masterfully answer the questions, right? And I said this summer he should be up on somebody's university and come up and do a guest lecture on, how to respond to questions from difficult people. Remember the book that I sent him? Barnes & Noble say it's being shipped. It's already been shipped. So I'm happy about that. Because that's going to help too. That's going to help for round 2, right? Because ain't no telling what's going to happen to Shedeur, but I will tell you what I have observed. Y'all already know I know about the whole Manning situation, but it's not even about that. Look at, all you got to do is pay attention to the media, the Cleveland media, not necessarily the Mayor Cabot lady. Yeah, she said, talking about putting out tidbits about Mike McDaniel. She talking about McDaniel and stuff like that. They showed a little clip like announcing the game, just a little post. They didn't have the quarterback on there. I don't even know who the hell that was. I don't know if it was Mason Graham. I don't know if it was Joel Bitonio. I don't know who it was. But it wasn't the quarterback. It wasn't Harold Fanning Jr. It wasn't Myles Garrett. It wasn't Carson Schlesinger. It wasn't Greg Delpit. It wasn't Denzel Ward. You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? It was a big guy. So it's either a big lineman or it's a big O lineman. It's either a big defensive lineman or a big offensive lineman. If it's a big offensive lineman, that's crazy. That's crazy. But it wasn't the quarterback. So I feel like, in my honest opinion, I'm 100% spot on that they pining away for the Manning kid, and anything that they do, I don't care if it's a head coach. I don't care if it's another quarterback. They probably gonna get another veteran and run back that little dumb competition again. It's just a bridge. It's just a bridge until that kid come out of school. Now, if they trade Isaiah Bond, I'll let you know. But pay attention to who they get and who you hear being associated with the team. If we went to Texas, it's not a coincidence. Just like Isaiah Bond being there, it's not a coincidence to take over at the 1 when Jerry Jeudy leave. And I think when we looked at the official depth chart, he was a 2. So if he has little playing time this game, that's not what we brought you in for. Understand that. And his contract could actually be renewed before Shedeur's rookie contract, because Shedeur's 4 years, whereas Isaiah Bond is 3. So pay attention to that. Definitely pay attention to what's going on there, and who they bringing in and who they really moving out. And that's why I say Shedeur has the right perspective, because I think he would be crazy to think I'm coming back here. And they don't even want him to know if they know he's coming back. If they know they're keeping him, they don't even want him to know that. It's like, oh, nothing will be given, not even a peace of mind. Honestly, that's what it is. When they say nothing will be given, they must mean a peace of mind because he works hard for everything he has. Every skill set he has, he's nurtured it. All the talents, all the DNA, he's nurtured everything he has. They even said it. We know he's going to come in here and work hard. Nothing will be given. They must be talking about his peace of mind. And understand this, you can't control his peace of mind. You can't control what he thinks, but they damn sure tried to disrupt his peace of mind. So, now they're talking about Mike McDaniel could be coming to Cleveland. And I told y'all, all they was going to go do is get another Stefanski. And that's what he is. McDaniel couldn't even bench Tua when Tua was a detriment to the team. And the GM got fired. So are they trying to bring McDaniel over so the same foolishness could happen? And they fire Andrew Berry because they might be looking for a way. Understand, everything that they are doing before that kid come out of school is to prepare for when that kid come out of school. Understand that. Jerry Jeudy will be on his way out. Right now, you probably can't even move him. $41 million guaranteed. Who gonna pay him that? So it's just time. And they have time. They're not in any hurry. In fact, Haslam alluded to that, right? When he said they were going to continue to rebuild for another 3 years because we're not in any hurry. We don't want to panic. He said this in September with Shedeur on the ground. So he didn't acknowledge Shedeur out of his own mouth, and we heard it. He didn't acknowledge him in September, and this was after the preseason game. There's nothing Shedeur can do to make Haslam want Shedeur, to make Haslam decide that Shedeur is franchise. Shedeur is already franchise. He just not the manny kid. And that's who they want, but they don't want people to know that. See, they don't want people to know that. They were trying to be bold with it, with ESPN tracking it. Why would you be tracking that if you didn't think that kid was coming this way? Get the hell out of here now. But they, as an organization, want to give the appearance that, hey, we going to the draft to build. No, they not. They had the number 2 draft and number 2 pick in the draft, and they didn't want it. Just like Tennessee didn't want that number 1 pick. Now these teams that have Cam and that have Shedeur, they have to ask themselves, what do we do? Because we know we want to go back to Will Levis or somebody like Will Levis, or we want to wait and reserve the QB franchise tag for the Manning kid. What do we do with Cam? What do we do with Shedeur? Well, I'll tell you what they're doing with Cam. See you 6 o'clock members live stream. You don't want to miss it. Black quarterbacks and the final frontier. Yep. So, Shedeur they're not going to give him any comfort, any peace of mind, any assurances. They're not going to let him be comfortable. They want him not to be comfortable. They want him to be on pins and needles like he was in the draft. They want him to, am I coming back or not? I wouldn't even give a damn about that. I wouldn't. I would just go on, and in the summer, I'd be working on my content like Shiloh. I sure would. I'm going to live my life. And if you don't want me to come back, cool. Cool. Because, they can terminate his contract just like they did Tony Brown's. So they want to use Shedeur's status with the contract that's not guaranteed like a carrot and for him to be different. That ain't going to happen. And they know that. So today they're talking about bringing McDaniel in rather than Shedeur going to Miami. What did I say about that? That ain't no coincidence. First, it was the GM from Miami. Now it's the head coach from Miami. Why not just Shedeur to Miami and you bring Quinn Ewers over here? They got the same contract, just like Shedeur and Joe Milton. This much of me believes we could wake up one day and Shedeur could be traded. They don't want him. And they crazy if they think 20 million people gonna let them bench Shedeur at QB2 or run back that fake program and make him have to jump through hoops again. And I think they're trying to see and test the waters about that. Well, you can't get away with that. They know they can't get away with Dylan back out there, even though they're going to try it. And you can't get away with Shedeur being second fiddle because that ain't gonna happen. So if we can't trade him as less than, like if we can't trade him as a 2 or 3 and bury him on the depth chart, draft to destroy, trade to destroy. If we can't do that, then we just gonna keep him here. And then his contract is too easy. You will be a fool to not let him be the QB1 next year, but you don't want to use the word franchise with Shedeur because that locks him in long term. And if I want the Manning kid, I can't call Shedeur franchise. And I can't act like he QB1 because if I lock him in at QB1, how am I gonna move off of him if he go out here and ball out next year and then justify getting the Manning kid? That's what the Browns are trying to figure out, and the rest of the owners that took Shedeur off the board trying to figure out what to do. You can't send him to the UFL unless that's where he want to go, but you can't demote him, right? You can't demote him, and clearly there's still some kind of moratorium on trading him because everybody else is in the trade conversation. Every damn quarterback out there, including Lamar, except for Shedeur. So seems like they're going to keep Shedeur, but they don't want him to know. They want him to be uncomfortable. I guess they don't want him to capitalize off of being the QB1 over the summer. They go through a lot of trouble to hold this young man back, emotionally, physically, and just as a human being. You know, they do a lot to hold him back. If they expended the energy that they used to hold Shedeur back, hell, they would have been in the playoffs. So would have, but they don't want to go because we don't want to go with you. We want to go with the Manning kid. Good luck with that shit. Because last time I watched the team bet the farm on a player, it was JJ McCarthy, and you see how that's going. Again, I don't even know if he has a passion to play the game. He might. But that don't mean it's going to translate into wins. I don't know, you know. So they had to play Michigan after the team was disrupted and they fired their coach before the game. So the team could be disrupted. So Bryce Underwood wouldn't come out here and cook Arch Manning. I told y'all that's what was going on. And they're going to do the same thing in the NFL. You know how I know? Because they're doing it with Tyler Shaw. Yep. Same thing. Oh my God, Tyler Shaw has done this. I'm like, God damn it. He has played the easiest stretch of games. And they gave Spencer Rattler the toughest stretch of games. Why did they give Spencer Rattler the toughest stretch? The same reason they gave it to Shedeur. To prove you're not him. As if we're dumb and don't know that strength of schedule matters. They were better off firing Stefanski and disrupting the team. But no, they have an allegiance to him. So somebody got to go. And the poll I have overwhelmingly, the support is for Shedeur in Cleveland. So again, Haslam going to have to figure out something. You're going to have to figure out something. So, you know, Shedeur answered this question really well. You know, he's not deterred by these people. He's not bothered by them at all. And that bothers them, right? It bothers them that he's not, oh my God, y'all not going to bring me back? Yeah, no, okay, fine. Fine. What did Coach Prime say after the draft? They'll be fine without football. And Shiloh has already proven that that is true. So
I can't be accountable for somebody else's decisions.
So, you know.
No, I'm not. I can't think about what other people's opinion or what they view me as. I know, you know, the teams that we go against, I know they definitely respect me in the passing game for sure. But I can't be accountable for somebody else's decisions.
Right. And people are starting to figure out, right, as the talk about the Manning kid becomes more prevalent and people start posting about it. You know, somebody say, you know how, you know, sad it is that that's who you pining away from, and you willing to, you know, a bird in the hand beats two in the bush, right? You willing to let 3 years go, 24, 25, and 26 burn to wait on somebody for 27. And that's why I said, If he right there, I think he should just be able to go on with his life and go play ball somewhere else. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think. So, I'm sick of the Browns. I'm honest. I'm just sick. I'm sick of the Browns because their behavior is dehumanizing. It is. It's we see you, we just don't want you. It's Marlon Briscoe. This not 1968, right? You trying everything you can to throw this young man off his game so he can't go out here and play, including get him hurt. So he better keep his head on the swivel on his last game because they have proven that they can get new talent on the O-line, but not at the people who need to be moved out. They won't even make adjustments. You can't trust people like that. You can't trust nobody that has the ability to make a change away from a situation which is detrimental to the quarterback's health, but you don't. You can't trust that. And since they already stepped on his damn hand and tried to crush his throwing hand, he got to keep a lookout for this last game. Got to keep a lookout. And who they playing? The Bengals. I heard their defense not that good anyway. So that's a plus. Hopefully that's the case. I mean, hopefully it's not even about win or losing where Shedeur is concerned. It's about keeping Shedeur safe, right? Because his own team has tried, his own head coach has tried to sabotage him. I don't know how many times, and no other adult in the room will step in and do anything about it. That's why he needs to get the hell out of there. And the NFL knows it's dangerous. They know the situation. So no excuses. No excuses. All right. So this is the part right here where they're talking about McDaniel. It said the coaches search that some people have been waiting for is happening. It said Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel would be a candidate for the Cleveland Browns job if both teams make a change. So last week they were looking at the fired GM from Miami to add senior voices. And this week they're looking at the head coach. Okay. That's just weird. The head coach who couldn't even bench Tua when Tua was a detriment to the team, and who got fired instead of Tua getting benched? The GM that the Browns were looking at last week as a senior voice. All right. So again, don't know what the hell is going on in Cleveland, but it's just more drama. It's just more drama. Are they talking about Aaron Glenn? I'm definitely not about to entertain that because that man should keep his job. What the hell has he done? Right? He didn't do nothing wrong. This is what Shedeur said about Stefanski. I don't know why they would ask him this question, but we know that they don't do things that make sense. They just try to provoke some type of issue, right? And then you have Denzel Ward being asked the question, and he's like, well, everything that happens wasn't Stefanski's fault. I'm like, well, after he been benched 3 games, what else you think he gonna say? So this is them asking Shedeur, and this is why it's good he answered it well.
I'm truly thankful. I'm thankful that I was able to come here. I'm thankful that I do have a relationship with all the coaches. And I'm thankful that just being evolving from day one, evolving from being a hungry dog to now, like it's exciting. And sometimes I think about those days, So I don't take anything for granted. I think overall the communication with the coaches and everything been really good, and I'm just thankful to just be here in general.
All right. So some people say Shedeur pulled the Stefanski on Stefanski on this question. Remember, Stefanski would never answer the question directly about Shedeur. He said he's thankful for the coaches. He's glad he came here. And I'm glad he went there too. Let me tell you why. I'm glad Shedeur went to Cleveland because now he knows how the NFL operates. See, if he would have went to a team, let's say like the Raiders, and they would have won and he would have balled out and he would have been QB1, he wouldn't know what it really is. He wouldn't know what it really is. See, you need to know who you're working for. You need to know what it is, right? Because if the door opens and if let's say they kick you out, then okay, I don't want to come back here. But then again, if you stay, you have to learn who's for you, who's against you, so you can know how to navigate. You can know how to navigate. You can know what to prioritize. And you should know, don't want nothing. Don't even worry about the Super Bowl. Just go out there and try to win each game. And if y'all make it to the Super Bowl, cool. And if they set it up like they set it up for Lamar where he never can make it, just understand what it is. Just know it's racial bias. And if you choose to work at a place where racial bias rules the day, because we got lawsuits in federal court that say so, and we see the person who they fired, Brian Flores, can't even get his damn head coaching job back, and he was a winner. McDaniel is he winning anything? Why would they want him? Because he's a puppet. And if that's how the draft isn't about talent, the coaching is about being a puppet. Well, what is this? What are we doing here? And then I can see the UFL actually being better. I know people can't see it, but I'm telling you, you know why people can't see it? Because they think this is an anomaly. This is the one-off. No, this is the foreseeable future. Why? 17, 18, 19, 20 Black starting quarterbacks. It's going to take a long time to undo the number of quarterbacks that are Black in the NFL that are at QB1 because you didn't get here overnight, so it's not going to go away overnight. If so, it's going to be a PR nightmare. You have to slowly, years, whittle away while you're still drafting them so they don't go somewhere else. Yes, the UFL can become more exciting, and people who truly like football can use that as their outlet. And those people are going to be hungry. The mistake they're going to make is trying to get here, using that to get here. No, build that up over there. That's what you do. Because this right here, slow burn over the next few years, because we do not want 17, 18, 19, 20. And we don't want no Lamar, no more Lamars, no more Shedeurs, no more Cams. Yeah. Facts. Cam brown skin too, right? Okay. Pay attention. All right, so that's enough of that. So I'm getting ready to hop over to the comments and see what y'all got going on. I hope everybody had a good New Year's. If you're just not joining us, there are 81 of us, 98 of us. Thank you so much. Ramont said, New Year, Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you, Ramont. It said, no two for you. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Hey, Nikki, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, everybody. Hey, Sharon. It said 1 year fools were firing pew-pews and I was on the floor. I bet. I bet. I'm on video going, that's not fireworks. That's not fireworks. Greetings, Miss Nola. How you doing? How you doing, Stephen? Welcome back. And Thanksgiving at Shedeur is my favorite video at Shiloh's. Okay. All right, Nikki. Thank you. So Nikki said her favorite video of Shiloh's is Thanksgiving. I said that's my third. Okay. So my first one is Buckify and at the Subway, that when he was at Tampa. Okay. So let me know y'all's favorite videos of Shiloh Sanders. Happy New Year. It's 420. How you doing? Hey, Peter. It said my favorite was Shiloh and Buckify Bert. Yes, that's the one. That's the one that I like too. That's the one that I like. I posted that one. I have to repost that one. Buckify. I really like that one. Somebody, we stole Shiloh. That was so funny. And they did. They really did. It said Shiloh's Thanksgiving dinner show with Miss Pilar. Okay, Ramon said his favorite, just like Nikki's. Thanksgiving is their number one. Okay, all right. It said when he went to the Browns game as Shedeur. Oh, that one. I forgot about that one. Okay, that was a good one. Thank you for that, Sharon. Happy New Year's, Joyce. Welcome. It says shame on the haters who try to tear down Lamar and Shedeur. Yep, facts on. It's just racial bias, and people just want to dance all around it and act like it's an isolated issue and it's not specific to race. No, it's racial bias. And you know how you know? Because it's going to happen to a third brown skin Black quarterback. Of course, we already know what happened to Tyrod Taylor. We already know, what happened to Jameis Winston. We understand what's happening to these guys. And with social media, when you put these posts out here and Shedeur and Lamar are above each other with the same situation, all it's going to take for a third and people going to start connecting the dots, right? And what happened to Lenore Sellers? They knocked him out. So he's staying in school, right? So we'll see. We'll see. The way Dante Moore is treated in the draft will be huge, right? Thomas Castellanos, the way he's treated in the draft. And anybody else, the players from Colorado, the way several of them have declared, let's see how they get treated, right? Let's see. It said the restaurant. Oh, that was a good one. The Vietnamese restaurant. Yeah, that was that a Vietnamese restaurant? I think it was. That was a good one. It said word on the street is he wants out of Baltimore, and Joe Burrow as well. Burrow looked scared about something when he was talking about Shedeur at his press conference. He looked disgruntled. I mean, I heard they don't have an O-line, nor do they have a defense. That's why I got to sit down and study to see what's really going on here, because I can't just say, because I don't watch Cincinnati and I don't keep up with them like that. So the word on the street was that Cincinnati wanted Shedeur. Am I right? Wasn't that the word on the street? But all they could get was Flacco. That was said. So understand this. If Cincinnati wanted Shedeur before, and maybe if things have changed, and Cincinnati still want to get Shedeur, what did Shedeur say? The teams we play against respect my passing ability. It's the teams we play against that stuck out to me. And that's why I said it's going to get wicked around here if Shedeur stay in the same division. We know Andrew Berry said something to Shedeur. I don't know what it was. I do not know what it was, but it was something. And Shedeur is very confident. And he like, yeah, I might be here. I might not. I'm glad I came here. It's almost like if you listen, he's not going to be there. And if they trying to throw Andrew Berry out, he might pull Ozzie Newsome. We'll talk about that behind closed doors, because, you don't want to give everything. And you never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. So, yeah, we're going to move off of that one. We'll talk about that one Friday in private. It says Christmas with Coach Prime and his one gift. That was funny. And I watched it again where Mama Connie said, you ought to beat everybody up. I thought that was hilarious. And Bucky's girlfriend, her birthday was yesterday or today, something like that. So I guess they got back together. I have a feeling they're going to get married. I have a feeling they're going to get married. I do. I have a feeling. And you know what? I forgot to rank. I like the video with Shilo at Christmas when he was teaching Snow, well, not teaching Snow, but playing the piano with Snow. Yeah, I like that one too. I say that's my fourth one. I put that as my fourth one. It said technically Shedeur will still be a rookie until several games into next season. It said when you compare to Jackson Dart and Tyler Shaw with the number of games they played. Interesting. That's interesting. It said it's not Lamar or the Ravens. It said Coach Harbaugh needs to go. His brother in LA needs to go as well. Justin Herbert is the most sacked QB in the NFL. It said there are facts. These are facts, and he stays in the pocket. So both of them need to go. Both of the why do they still work there? What, they one of them legacy families or something like that? That's interesting. I think Justin Herbert was up there with Cam Ward. Let me see who's the most sacked. Let's see. I know at one point it was Cam. Let's see. I know it was. Let's see. The leaderboard for sacks, unfortunately. Cam Ward is 1 at 55. Geno Smith at 2 at 55. Justin Herbert, 54. Close. One more sack and he up there. Drake May. So Drake May was up there. He was like number 3, but he dropped down to 47. Do y'all think it's a coincidence that Cam Ward and Geno Smith are the most sacked quarterbacks and they're both black? Let me know your thoughts about that. Again, a lot of racial bias is happening over there. K-Salt declared for the draft in his post. Oh, he did? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I wish him well. Happy New Year. Hey, Blind Beauty. How you doing? It said, I live in Iowa. It's a black-owned Iowa company. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Do you drink their coffee? Who is that? Blackstorm, you drink their coffee? Have you tried it? I mean, I know it's good. I'm just asking, have you tried it? Let me know. Let's see. Danny is his ex-wife. Yeah, Danny Garcia. I looked at the way it was spelled. It said ownership, slick stuff, facts. Hey, Tina, how you doing? Facts. It said Walt Disney owns all ESPN. Remember when 50 Cent had the vitamin water? What happened with him? Part ownership with them. No, tell us what happened. I'm gonna have to look it up. I just knew. I don't know. Did he invent it or did he invest in it? I never really knew the full story about vitamin water, but I knew he sold it, and I thought that's how he made all, the big chunk of his money. Did y'all know 50 Cent has 34 million Instagram followers? Yeah. It explains why he has a lounge inside the Washington Commanders stadium, and he's allowed to be on the sideline. And how many people did we say? 24 million? That's about right. 20 million? That's about right. That's about right. Oh, I heard Shilo on his compilation or something else when they must have been on draft day. He said when they were waiting for a call, he said, yeah, we're going to have to call up 50 Cent, and get back on Power. That was hilarious. I'm like, oh, Lord. But that would be good, though. I mean, I like when Shiloh was on there. I hope Power come back with Tariq, because that's what I'm waiting on. If y'all watch Power, let me know. Let me know, because we can live stream that, too, because if they come back and I get to see Tariq and Effie and Braden and all of them, I hate that the show went off the air, but they used the tagline, Power is Forever. And I saw in some kind of clip Tariq was filming. I was like, okay, so maybe they're coming back to it. Maybe he's gonna be with Tommy in Chicago. I don't know. Let me know what y'all know, because we definitely can live stream it. When I first started watching Power, I binge watched. I didn't start watching till they got to the end of season 5. I binge watched season 1 through 5. I promise you. I don't even think it took me a whole week. I don't think it took me a whole week, because I was like, this is good. I was like, this is good. And then when 6 came out, so that's what it was. 6 was getting ready to come out, the last season of Power. So I went hurry up and watched 1 through 5 so I could know what was going on. And matter of fact, I said I was gonna go ahead and rewatch some of not Power, but the one that Tariq was on. I said I was gonna rewatch that. It's good. It's really good. So let me know if y'all are Power fans too. It's that 50% USFL ownership by Fox Sports. Too much of a good old boys country club, in my opinion. I agree. I think that's kind of weird. It said Thanksgiving Day is my favorite. Okay. Black Beauty said that she likes the Thanksgiving episode. Okay. Did you hear Pilar say to Shiloh, your dad misses my cooking? I heard something, but I didn't think that's what I heard. I think I did hear that. That's the Thanksgiving episode, right? She probably right, though, because she can cook. I think she's supposed to be doing, she talked about doing some kind of catering. I think her sons want her to leave. So, because she said something about going to LA to do some type of catering, and Shilo or Shedeur and them were like, I was like, oh, wow, okay. They don't want their mama to go nowhere. Tampa fan. Oh, okay. So you like Buckify too, Joyce. Okay. It said Dion said Shiloh keeps him on his knees praying. I see why. Shiloh is something else. It said she sure did, Miss Tina. So Amber said it too. She's probably right though. I mean, honestly, who cooks for him? Oh, before Karuchi can cook too. Now I ain't trying to start nothing. I think she can cook too. But before that, honestly, what do you eat? Colorado food? Oh, you have a chef, right? They have a chef. So yeah, I agree. I mean, I think she can cook from what I can see. I think they both can cook from what I can see. Okay, so not to bring this up, but let me bring it up. If you've been on TikTok, there's this guy that's doing this post, and I'm a firm believer of you don't have to say everything. I think if it's obvious, just don't mention it, because I feel like it's a little messy. So he was trying to prove that certain members of the family don't approve of the relationship. And I was like, bro, don't do that. Like, as long as we've known the Sanders, I don't recall any type of messiness like that, right? So even when Miss Pilar and Coach Prime had to meet up for senior day, people just made a joke out of it and like laughed it off, right? I'm like, don't do that, right? Don't do that. And it and I know we can record anything and basically say whatever, but sometimes you just gotta leave stuff be, right? It's already obvious. Just let it be. Just move on. Just move on, right? Just move on. Because we from what I could tell, we kind of like the family as a whole, right? Like, when Jacquees was coming around, it was cool and people welcomed him and stuff like that. And wasn't nobody saying anything, right? So I think it should be the same way, you know. Just let it be. Just let it be. We not dumb. We can see. We can see. And that's typical when you blend in families. So whatever. It said, remember, Shiloh really didn't want to play football. He didn't. He even said, I don't want to play football. I want to make music. He sure did. Was he like in a 7th grade or something like that? He wanted to do music back when he had the show. I remember that. I saw that episode. I saw an episode where the Porsche, he tried to get the dealership to bring over a Porsche. They brought over a car and Coach Prime came to the house like, what's going on or something like that. But yeah, I saw a few episodes, and I don't know if I saw it in entirety. It said the funniest part to me is when he said he was going to kick an alligator and then ran. Yeah, that's crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. It said, hey, what she said, sports, I'm late, but present. Okay. It don't matter about being on time. It's okay. Good food, good music is back, y'all. It said, I think she knows he misses her. I think she knows. Yeah, she knows. I mean, she can cook, though. I mean, she can cook. She can cook. It said, bye, Sharon. I don't mind that man being fired. I don't have no problem with him being fired because he deserved to be fired. But see, 2 wrongs don't make a right, right? You don't get to use his presence to con some kids into recruiting there and then fire him conveniently so the team can be in turmoil weeks leading up to one of the biggest games. For who? Bryce Underwood. Y'all better pay attention. Pay attention. If Bryce Underwood was white, that wouldn't happen like that. You know what? Go ahead on and just fire him after the game. Yeah, that's exactly what would happen. They've been new. They've been new. Look at who he was married to and look at who he was fooling with. They've been new. It said, did you see the Wyatt Teller interview? No, I didn't. Maybe that was him on the cover of the post on their social media page. What did he say? Let us know. Let us know what Wyatt Teller said. It said, I think this was before Carucci, but she mentioned him saying sometimes. Oh, I mean, yeah. I know one thing. I know one thing. He don't trust that situation. Because at the house for the draft, it was like, I'm being nice, but I don't want to be around. And I thought it was because he was dating somebody else. And he was. So maybe it wasn't about her and their divorce. Maybe his being standoffish when she was around was because he was dating somebody else and he didn't want to give anybody the thought that I'm still, fooling around. Because you know how that go too. 1 game left. Yep, that's it. Just 1 game. Happy New Year, chat. Hey, Nisa girl, welcome back. Indianapolis is waiting on you, Shedeur. They can keep Daniel Jones up there. And give Anthony Richardson his job back. Oh, that's right. Phillip Rivers got it now. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting few years. It's going. Who the next 2% battery lifer to come back? Who the next one? Because nobody saw Phillip Rivers coming back, but apparently something about insurance. So Teller didn't play. That's what I thought. They're talking about he re-aggravated his calf injury versus the Steelers. I'm like, I didn't see him out there. They retaliated against that man too. It said this Cleveland Browns draft class was successful. I agree. Judkins, Fannin Jr., Sanders, and Sampson build on that as you go each year and trust the process. Right. And that's what they're not going to do. It said they are lying. Teller is fine. Right. Teller said he wasn't injured in the first place. And now they're saying he re-aggravated the injury that he never injured. Talk about a scandal, bro. Talk about a scandal. I hope the UFL get it together. But with ESPN over there, it's exactly what I said, trying to turn the UFL into the G League for the NFL. Carolina, Denver, New England, Washington, and Houston have shown this without getting a Barkley, Henry, or Tyreek Hill going over the luxury tax. Okay. What are you talking about? Build on that as you go. Each the process. Okay, all right. Okay, so you said Carolina. Speaking of Carolina, there are people that ready for Jimmy Horn Jr. to be traded because they feel like he's the best, the cleanest route runner they have, and he's the most underutilized in his skill set. Thoughts? This is a real conversation. This is a real conversation. Remember, I asked the conversation before we got to New Year's Eve. I said, which Colorado wide receiver should go to Cleveland with Shedeur? And Jimmy was second. Travis was first. And I said Jimmy was my choice because he could replace Judy. Well, guess what? Now the conversation is being had for real. Remember when I told y'all we a little bit ahead, or sometimes we're a lot ahead, but we're ahead of other people? So before New Year's Day, that's the conversation we were having, even had the poll. Now it's a full-fledged conversation on X because people are like, just play the man. They're like, why won't you play him? In a different world, if Shedeur was on a team that respected his talents, Jimmy would be where Shedeur is because Travis can't move. We know that already, right? It would be Jimmy. And you know what somebody else said? LeJounte, even though he playing special teams, somebody said, I'm waiting on LeJounte to get the wide receiver nod too. So, you know, I think it's politics because they drafted Tech. So they holding Jimmy back because we drafted Tech. I'm like, okay, because you could have drafted Jimmy. And that's what I hate. You drafted Tech, knowing Jimmy was a top 10 wide receiver, which was bottom of the first round, right? So you devalue Jimmy, and now you have him wasting away because you have to go with Tech because you paid him all this money. That's exactly why I stopped watching and going to the Hawks games. Well, we paid Trae Young $45 million. That ain't my fault. The rising star, his name was it AJ Green? And then they brought in Dejounte Murray. And it's like, well, can't nobody have a ball but Trae. I'm like, and all he want to do is assist. And that's what I mean. The politics of the sport, right? Yes, there's racial politics, but also embedded in that is they say it doesn't matter where you get drafted. We saw that that's a lie. He was only drafted when he was only drafted. Dylan gets to go first. Dylan did this. Dylan not better than Shedeur. Stefanski should be banned from the league for that. He should have already been fired, but they don't want to hurt his feelings. Oh, we don't want to do him like that. He should have never been a coach in the first place. That's what the players have to deal with. Cronyism. People being left in positions like the Harbaughs, both of them, and they need to be gone. Cronyism. There's other people who could be good head coaches. But see, fans talk as if everything is on the up and up and the games are competitive. And the two of them combined. No. Cronyism first. The good old boys club. Right? Transfer of wealth. Two. That's two. Right? And then three, where we put you in the draft. The three of those is what's taking the life out of the game. But they don't care because they control it. And we get to do what we want to do with it. And in another sense, we're stopping Black excellence from their greatness because we're making them sit on the bench, only letting them play 7 games while we push up lesser talented players due to cronyism. The good old boys. While we transfer this wealth to people, we want to put it in the hands of. Yeah. We're also controlling the highest paid quarterbacks when we do that. Instead of it being Cam, Shedeur, and Milroe, it's Cam, Dart, and Tyler Shaw. That's exactly what that was about. Why they don't care about the money, they care about who they give it to. And once they give it to people they don't want to give it to because Tennessee wanted to trade that pick up until right before the draft. And when I mean right before, Monday was like, it was announced on Monday, the draft interviews and all the team owners was doing their part and stuff. It was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before draft week. Oh, okay, I guess we're going to go with you. Not a surprise he been sacked 55 times. Because although I paid you $48 million, you ain't my long-term solution. Because they kept pining away for Will Levis. Then you got Geno Smith over there, who thought he was going somewhere friendly because of Pete Carroll, when actually he was just used to block Shedeur. Not a coincidence that there's the least amount of starting quarterbacks are black, and the two sacked the most are black. It's not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence. What happens when you get sacked excessively? You get PTSD. Ask Justin Fields. So it said the whole line is injured. It said third string. Shedeur better protect himself. Right. And they're basically essentially telling you, yep, we can get more people, but we're not going to get the people. We're not going to get the people we need. We know we can replace Cam. We know we can replace KT Levison, but we're not. He has absolutely keep his head on the swivel, because what happens if you get injured this late in the season? And I mean like a Travis type injury or a Michael Penix Jr. injury. They said Quinshon Judkins will be ready for OTAs. I don't know when Michael Penix Jr. is supposed to come back. Same thing. Also, because it's crazy how when the fans got upset that the offensive coordinator, because see, they got pressure in Atlanta too. And we talked about the similarities in the situations, including inside the locker room and retaliation, right? We talked about that. But Michael Penix Jr., you could see that it was going to take a toll on him because he was doing everything he could and they kept holding it back. And it was the predictable play calling. And I watched his center, I watched his right tackle all blow their assignments and get him sacked. And finally, the fans had enough, so they spoke up. And the team placated. What did they do? They said, well, we're going to put the offensive coordinator on the field, and maybe that'll help with the play calling. So they wasn't getting the plays to Michael Penix Jr. on time. And as you can know, things were happening. What was that going to do? They didn't want to change the predictable play calling, so they changed the location of where the predictable play caller sat or stood. And what happened? He got hurt in the next few games. It's almost begrudgingly because the fans were holding the Falcons accountable about the offensive coordinator. Of course, the head coach got caught up in that too, right? So the team was like, well, fine, since the fans want to hold us accountable and we trying to get away from Michael Penix Jr., but the fans want to hold us accountable, they made him unavailable. And they still got their way. Stepping on Shedeur's hand, who would have came out and played? All right. Shedeur better keep his head on the swivel. Throw the damn ball away if that's what you got to do. I know they want him to do that because it disrupts his numbers. But figure something out. If you and a running back got to come up with a code or something, you got to figure out something. Because if you go back and watch his last game, you're going to see the running back protecting harder than KT Levison. KT Levison let his man go. The running back stopped it, so Shedeur had time to throw the ball on the right side. They got KT as the 2 on the left, as the 1 on the right. They are telling you they're not blocking for you. And that's not the players doing, because the players don't run the game plan. That's Stefanski. He's setting it up with the guys who choose not to block for Shedeur that he clearly can control. It's the last game. Why would you do something like that in the last game if you move it on? Pure revenge, nastiness? Availability or lack thereof going forward. Let me see when Michael Penix Jr. comes back. I don't know when he come back. I need to look and see. But yeah, that's how they got what they wanted. Michael Penix Jr. got hurt. It wasn't no accident. So Shedeur got to be careful because they're not trying to protect him. And it's like they want him to know because he knows who's who, and they think we don't know. And even just like in Atlanta, if we call it out, they still not gonna do it. That's basically what the message is. That's why I say it's wicked around there. It's just wicked. How long is Michael Penix Jr. out? And that'll basically, let's see. And they did all of that so Kirk Cousins could come back and play. He is out for the rest of the 2025 season. He's expected to miss the start of the 2026 season due to a partially torn ACL, requiring surgery late in 2025 with a recovery timeline of 9 to 12 months. Now you understand what's happening. Now, what would happen? That's the whole season. That's the whole season, bro. That's from this December to next December. That would be a shame if that happened, bro. That kid has never sustained no injuries like that. Now you see, that's the answer to the question. Now it's making him unavailable. Pay attention, Shedeur. If you see this, bro, I pray to God you overcome what they got planned for you because it's wicked, bro. It's wicked. And see, they know people not looking at the depth chart and looking at who's coming in and who's going out. Yes, some people are in the media. Are they going to say something? No. Do I see the similarities between the Falcons and the Saints? Absolutely. The Falcons and the Browns? Absolutely. That's the goal. That's the goal. First, you stepped on his hand. That didn't work. And I asked, why would you be doing all of this with a player who you think isn't going to be around next year, whether you're there or not? Even if they thought about cutting him, that's how you know he's going to be around. And they don't want him to be available. That's sad, bro. That's sad. And that's what they do with their lives. That's exactly what they do with their lives. And of course, the insurance company going to pay Michael Penix Jr. salary. And we know it ain't about Shedeur's salary. We know it ain't about that. Keep your head on the swivel. Y'all see what it is. Y'all see what it is, bro. You just see what it is. That's what it is. Because I said it don't make no sense to try to hurt somebody when the season is almost over, right? And people want to act like Bountygate wasn't real. Bountygate was external between one team hurting another team's players. This is internal. And with so many players in agreement on the O-line, and then Jerry Jeudy, it needs to be investigated. Because if this kid get hurt, like Michael Penix Jr. got hurt, the goal is to make him unavailable for next year. Because who do I want the year after that? And that's a damn shame to hurt somebody physically because you want somebody else. Because that's exactly what's going on in Minnesota. I mean, not Minnesota, in Atlanta with the Falcons. Now y'all see it. You see it now. I hope y'all see it. Ole Miss won that game, huh? I don't know. Did they? I don't think they did. I wanted them to win. It said there's a reason these linemen are third string. They can't pass block or run block. Right. And Roger, the better pass blocker is Cornelius Lucas, and they got him at the 2. And it's documented. Andrew Berry brought in Cornelius Lucas to replace Jack Conklin. But they won't let Cornelius Lucas play after 1. Some people were like, he's not as good as you think he is. Well, let me see. Maybe it's not about whether he's good or not. Maybe it's about the fact that he's not going to allow Shedeur to get hurt. That might be what it's about. Remember, this is the 3rd injury to Penix. Yeah, they knew he was injured when he got there. It says, shout out to Ole Miss. They beat Georgia. God darn. Y'all kidding me. Ole Miss came back and won? What? Oh, man. Okay. Ole Miss came back and beat Georgia. What? 39-34. Okay. That's why Lane Kiffin was trending. I guess they was like, get the hell on. You know, he wanted to come back and coach the games, and they told him no. He still shouldn't have quit like that, though. It said, seeing is most definitely believing. It said Ole Miss won. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Ole Miss came back and won. Way to go. Let me look at them stats real fast. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. All right. Let me share my screen so y'all can see it. All right. Ole Miss in Georgia. Okay, so it was 21-12 at the half, I think, right? Yeah. Okay, so Ole Miss scored first quarter. Let me make sure because sometimes y'all can't see. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so Ole Miss scored in the first quarter. Georgia did not. And Georgia scored 21 points in the second quarter. Ole Miss just had 6. That's when it went in 21-12. And I think I started getting ready for my show. So the third quarter, Ole Miss 7 to Georgia, held Georgia to 3. And then the fourth quarter, they came out like gangbusters. It put up 20 points, and Georgia only scored 10, and Ole Miss beat Georgia. Wow. So Ole Miss ended up 13-1, and Georgia is 12-2. What? That's crazy. Let me look at these team stats. Ole Miss put up 473 yards total, 362 passing, 111 rushing. What? 6.5 yards per play versus 344 for Georgia. They only put 220 passing and 124 rushing. Pretty balanced game, but they still couldn't get it done. Let's check out these player stats, shall we? Trinidad Shamblers, 30 of 46, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he want to go back to school for 1 more year. Kawan Lacey, 22 carries, 98 yards, 4.5 with 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Trinidad. He even had 4 carries and 14 yards. That's what I'm talking about. That's he want to come out next year. I can see it right now. Y'all know who's supposed to be coming out next year. Don't be surprised if that change. I'm just saying. Congratulations. Y'all know I was pulling for Ole Miss. I even said it. I never thought I would say that out loud. But I also knew that they had 2 black quarterbacks. They have Austin, who's very young. He came out of school 2 years early. I think he's a prodigy. He already has his bachelor's degree. They have Austin and they have Trinidad. Trinidad's supposed to be going back to school. He's petitioning the NCAA. They probably won't give it to him. He's petitioning the NCAA to go back to school for another year, just like Diego Pavia. Now, y'all know who's supposed to be coming out next year. Can y'all see them denying both Diego Pavia and Trinidad Shamblers so that somebody has less competition? Can y'all see that? Because I sure can. I can see a conversation being had. You might want to come out right now. You might want to come out right now. You might want to come out because this class is supposed to be weak. Why they don't talk about Carson Beck? That's what it was. Miami. I got a clip of, what's his name? Michael Irvin. Oh my God. Michael Irvin is hilarious. Michael Irvin took off his belt. It might be copyrighted, so I'm gonna just tell you about it. So y'all know Michael Irvin went to the U, and y'all know a coach from Colorado. Remember one of the defensive coaches from Colorado went over there? I forgot who it was. He went back home. So that means that he's in the playoffs too. Okay. If y'all know who it is, let me know. But it's the coach from Colorado, left at the end of last season and went to Miami, and he was a defensive coach. So Michael Irvin took off his belt and just snatched it off. And I don't know what he was gonna do with it. But at one point, him and the duck looked like they were doing something. I was like, so Michael Irvin is like quite the sideshow at the game because he went to Miami. He a diehard. He a diehard Miami fan, bruh. So I don't hear them talking about Carson Beck a lot. I just find that a little weird. I just think that's a little weird. I think that's weird. So anyway, so who's next, guys? So we know that who played who next? I have to see. Let me see what the picture look like. College football picture. I'm still pulling for Ole Miss. Let me just be honest. Trinidad. Let's see. Let's see. So who we got next? Who played who next? Oh, okay. Oh, is that it? Oh, the championship that's the next game. When was the Peach Bowl? Did they do that yet? That's right here in Atlanta. Did they have the Peach Bowl yet? I didn't hear nothing about that. Anyway, oh, okay, here we go. It says Ole Miss gonna play Miami. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now that's the game. That might as well be the championship right there. And then Oregon gonna play Indiana. I don't really care about that one. But Dante Moore is over at Oregon, but I don't watch Oregon because of Dan Lanning. So I'm gonna have to hear about that. So Indiana's number 1. And Oregon's number 5. Oh, that's the Peach Bowl. Oh, okay. I'm gonna show this to y'all. Okay, that's the Peach Bowl. Oh, okay. So they coming to Atlanta, Oregon, and Indiana. That is interesting. Y'all know we got a player from Colorado that plays. He left Colorado and went to Indiana. So yeah, it's a couple of people that left CU that went on to do well. So can y'all see this? Can y'all see my screen? So shout out to Trinidad Shamblers. Man, yeah. Keep your eyes on that one. Keep your eyes on that one. Let's see if he get that Ole Miss love like Jackson Dart got. That's why I've been knowing who they are. I said I want to see if these 2 black quarterbacks at Ole Miss get treated like Jackson Dart. So I'm gonna have to see what's happening there. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, so I made myself smaller so y'all can see. Okay, so Indiana plays Oregon Friday, January 9th, here in Atlanta in the Peach Bowl. And then Ole Miss versus Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Where they play the Fiesta Bowl? Does anybody know where they play the Fiesta Bowl? Is it in Miami? Or I don't know. I don't know what a Fiesta Bowl is. Okay, so the game I'm truly interested in is Ole Miss versus Miami, and I'm rooting for Ole Miss to take down Miami. Oregon versus Indiana. Dante Moore versus Mendoza. That's gonna be interesting for a lot of people who want to see who coming out first or second. So I don't really care about that game. And then the big game is January 19th. Okay. All right. So Trinidad Shamblers has made it. All right. Okay. So y'all know I follow the quarterbacks and I follow that one. Keep an eye on that one. Because it's stacking up to be a little different. And again, I don't know why they don't talk about Carson Beck. They talk about Mendoza. They talk about Dante Moore. I know Carson Beck is supposed to come out this year because he was supposed to come out last year. And if he got his team this far, then I don't know why they don't talk about him coming out. So we're going to see who win. I'm rooting for Trinidad Shamblers to win. And it'll be interesting. I'm keeping my eye out to see if the NCAA, I might have said it right, if the NCAA approves his request to stay in school and go back to Ole Miss for one more year, or will he have to transfer? I'm going to have to look into that. I followed one of the coaches' wives from Ole Miss as well. I don't know her name, but I know she having a baby and she got a little baby. So I follow them. So that's how I'm able to keep up with the info. Shamblers is going to LSU with Lane. What? Has that been decided? Let me know. Amber, is that already a done deal that he's transferring out? And did he get his extension? That's interesting. It said Ole Miss won that game. Yes, coach. Yep, this is the third injury to Penix. It sure is. Shout out to Ole Miss. They beat Georgia. They did the damn thing. Thank you for that. Isaiah. Seeing is most definitely believing. Yep. It said Ole Miss won. I'll be darned. It said, I'm a Giants fan, and they're linking Stefanski to the Giants as the next head coach. The Giants are just that stupid and probably will hire that loser. They're going to have to do something with him because he know what the bodies are buried. And you know that Pat Schumer tried to get Stefanski hired with the Giants before, but they didn't want him. They hired Daboll instead. It said, how do I buy Shedeur gears? Go to his store, Legendary. What is it? TwoLegendary.com. I do believe that's what it is. If somebody find the link, grab the link and just put it in the chat, please. I think it's TwoLegendary.com. I think that's what it is. Let me look at it real fast. So I'll put it in the chat. Yep, this is it right here. I'm going to share it in the chat. TooLegendary.com. Okay, I just put it in the chat. TooLegendary.com. You can just go to it straight from here. All right, there we go. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. It said, no, I don't think it's done yet. Oh, regarding Shambliss. Okay. So you think if it's approved, he going to end up at LSU. I'm telling you right now, with this kid balling out, understand, Dante's not a threat because he's supposed to be moving on. But I don't know if that's 100%. I personally think he need to go back to school. But what did I say? At Oregon, they probably going to try to force him out. Who else we have? If Shambliss come out this year, they probably prefer for him to come out this year. Why is that? Because chances are there's not more than 3 quarterbacks going to be drafted in the first round. So we talking Dante, Carson Beck got to be in there somewhere. So that's going to push one of them to the second round. So I could see them denying him having to go into the draft and be it in the second round, which is devalued. And he getting ready to play Carson Beck. So we're going to see. We're going to see. Because I don't know if I'm going to watch the game. But I know y'all going to tell me about it. So, you know, I don't have to actually watch it. I just want to know how the results. It said, think his request was denied. Oh, really? It said Georgia had another QB out there. I think his name was Stetson. What? So Georgia didn't play with wait, what's their quarterback name? I forgot. What's his name? I forgot his name. Let me see right fast. Here it is right here. Georgia played with player stats. Oh, Georgia played 3 quarterbacks. Is that right? One must have been a kicker or something. Gunnar Stockton. They played Gunnar Stockton. He's 18 to 31, 204 yards, very lackluster, and 1 touchdown. Then they look like 2 tight ends. Maybe they did a wildcat or something. Landon, unless they did a lateral or something, he's 1 of 1 for 16 yards. And Dylan Bell, number 86. I don't know what they had going on. Gunnar Stockton also had 13 carries and 20 yards rushing. He had 2 touchdowns rushing. And he didn't have any passing. Oh, no, he did. He had 3 touchdowns total. 2 rushing and 1 passing. Okay, well, I mean, that's good, but it I guess it wasn't enough. Trinidad had 2 touchdowns. Kawan Lacey had 2 touchdowns. So they had 4 touchdowns. Okay. Deuce Alexander, he was in the negatives. I guess they put him in as a running back or something. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Pay attention. Keep your eyes on Trinidad Shambliss and Dante Moore because Dante has not said 100%. I don't think he has declared for the draft. I think he's waiting till after this game. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it goes. We'll talk about predictions when we get closer because I think they said the dates are like, what, January 9th? January 8th, January 8th, which is a Thursday for Miami and Ole Miss. And Friday, January 9th, here in Atlanta, Oregon, and Indiana. Okay, so when we get closer to that, if y'all care to share, that's fine. All right, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Let me see if Shambliss has been denied his, let's see. Has Shambliss appeal to the NCAA? Trinidad Shambliss is appealing for the NCAA for extra year eligibility for the 2026 season, applying for a medical red shirt for the 2022 season at D1, D2 Ferris State due to a respiratory issue. Oh, COVID. So due to COVID, it said a case is being handled by attorney Tom Mars with the school and player saying it's irreparable harm if he's denied. What school? What school? It said as his potential stardom makes the decision crucial before the January transfer portal window, which is tomorrow. The claim is irreparable harm. The appeal argues that denying the waiver could cause significant financial and professional damage, given Chambliss's high profile as a top returning QB. It said prominent attorney Tom Mars is leading the effort, submitting a formal letter to the NCAA. The stakes, let me let y'all see this. The stakes, hold on, let me let y'all see this. So it's true, seeing is believing. So hold on one second. This is good. Okay. All right, here, right here. This is what's at stake. All right, make sure I can share my screen and y'all can see it. Okay, here we go. So this is good because y'all might hear this again. It said why it matters. Stakes. Chambliss finished high in the Heisman voting in 2025 and is a potential multi-million-dollar player, making the extra year vital for his NFL prospects and earnings. So if he stays at school another year, he'll get a bag, which I'm full in support for. But understand who he coming out against. Understand that. And understand Arch Manning just played against Bryce Young and Bryce Underwood after Bryce Underwood coach got skedaddled and Lane Kiffin left, and it was supposed to take down Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss, but it did not. It did not. Understand that didn't have to happen at that moment. It said the decision is urgent due to the January 12th through 16th transfer portal window, so he should already kind of know, as he need the waiver to play elsewhere or return to Ole Miss with full eligibility. So I wonder if he would go to LSU. I wouldn't. I wouldn't go to LSU with the coach leaving like that. And especially with them winning, and if they go to the chip, and if they win the chip, I'm staying right there. And it said the precedent. His case follows others like Diego Pavia, who was granted similar waivers after threatening legal action. So Diego got his. Trinidad don't have his. Stay tuned. Current status. Let's see. The waiver request is still pending a decision by the NCAA. There's no definitive time for the ruling. Hold on for a second. There's no definitive time for the ruling. So if they wait till after January 16th, he would have to stay at Ole Miss, but he would get the waiver. Is it too when is it too late to declare for the NFL draft? Yeah, you gotta watch this one. You gotta watch this one. You gotta watch this one. This is what I mean by, so Diego Pavia got his extension. So he going back to his school, which was Vanderbilt, I think, for another year. So he got his. Understand the stakes are high for Trinidad, because if he go and he run it back, he wins the Heisman. He comes out first. I'm just saying. Shedeur Sanders all over again. So that's it, y'all. That's what it is. It said my final is Ole Miss versus Indiana. Trinidad, a future NFL MVP. Facts. Oh, he a dog. Stockton said yes. It says all those players are leaving with Lane Kiffin, just like when Prime left with JSU. Okay. Same thing. Okay. Ole Miss is going to be a doozy next season. Sure is. Thank you for that. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. This was good. This was really, really good. So we got a lot to keep our eye on. You know, we already looking at Dante Moore, just waiting to hear what he gonna do. See if he gonna go back to school or come out. Then these games are gonna be game changers. The Fiesta Bowl and the Peach Bowl. So we'll be keeping our eye on those contests. Yes, I'm rooting for Trinidad Chambliss and Ole Miss. All right, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. Don't forget, put it on your calendar to watch party. Shiloh Sanders' last rookie game, last game of the season for the Browns, week 18. He will be the starter. 12:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to go and schedule it, so look for the notification. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Do me a favor, subscribe, hit the like button, and hype me up. Whenever you see the hype button, press the hype button for me. Hype me up. That's a YouTube thing, and I appreciate it. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Sleep tight. Don't forget to say your prayers.